Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who catches his wife cheating on him with the landlord. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. My wife 33 and I 36 have been together for about 4 years, married for almost 3. I'm a divorcee, and unfortunately my ex-wife made out like a bandit and kept the house and half of my belongings. This has caused me to have to build myself back up, which is still a work in progress. That said, I've been doing pretty well these last few years, plus I've met my current wife. We instantly clicked, and despite not being financially exactly where I wanted, I knew I wanted her, so I was all in as far as our relationship goes. We moved into a bigger apartment together, got engaged shortly after, and the wedding wasn't too long after that. It was a small affair, as neither of us wanted to nor could have spent a large amount of money on a huge wedding. It was wonderful and intimate, and we've been happy ever since, or at least that's what I thought. Fast forward to now. Our apartment is practically in shambles, and I'm working long, excruciating hours just to make ends meet. My wife works as well, but her hours tend to vary more than mine, and she's often home during the day. Our landlord has been a frequent flyer to our home as of late, fixing and replacing various appliances and plumbing issues, etc. that need repairs. I can imagine it's quite costly for him, but he's the landlord, so that's his job. Plus, it's not my fault he allowed the place to stay so outdated prior to us moving in. Due to my schedule, I really haven't seen the landlord much, and my wife tends to be the one interacting with him when he's over. It might be worth noting that his wife has been abroad on a work trip for several weeks now, and it will apparently be several more before she returns. That said, apparently the landlord started to expect something in return from my wife. He wanted something in return for him keeping our apartment livable. Seeing as I came home from work a bit early the other day and caught them in the act, my wife had agreed to this agreement. She tried to lie to me at first and said he came on to her and was stronger and she could not fight back. I didn't believe this because of what I walked in on and witnessed with my own eyes. I kept pressing. She kept trying to lie and I was seething. Eventually, I was able to get the truth out of her. Apparently, this was not the first time they had slept together, and she did not want it to be the last either. They had been having an affair for at least 2 weeks. She claimed she's in love with him. I was absolutely livid. I loved this woman. I still love this woman, but I cannot forgive this. I kicked her out of the house immediately. I let her pack a bag quickly, and that was that. She tried to argue, saying she had nowhere to go, but not my problem. I will not stay married to a cheater. I've been in contact with a divorce lawyer and thankfully live in an at-fault state, so I shouldn't owe her anything. I have the tapes from the surveillance camera up on the porch of them entering the house wrapped around each other. Hopefully, that'll be enough. She's apparently been staying with our landlord and his children playing happy little family. When his wife returns from her business trip, she will be screwed. That's not my problem though. I'll be setting myself free from this chaotic mess. Update. So, I heard the landlord's wife is back and people had heard a big commotion from their house. I'm guessing she kicked my wife out if she were dumb enough to still live there. I'm gonna have to find her to give the divorce papers. I'm sorry this happened to your marriage, OP. It's a good thing you found out about the two of them when you did. Your ex-wife betrayed your trust and she cheated on you right in your own house. She threw away her stable, secure marriage for a man that's married to someone else. The best thing you could have done for yourself was kicking her out. Find a way to deliver her the divorce paper. There's no reason why you should still have any tie connecting you to a woman like her. Story 2. So, at 17, my wife 25 and I 25 got pregnant in high school. We married that summer and have since had 2 more children. We are now both 25 years old. Our marriage has had many ups and downs. We spend a lot of time frustrated with each other, working out differences, fighting. We have some fantastic memories, and in a lot of ways, we make a great team as well. We have been through rough patches where we ask if we should just divorce, but we've never actually made a move. Last September, my wife caught me watching porn. This was very hard for her as she's very sensitive to me seeing other women. Movies, TV, real life. She's very insecure about her image. This was a very trying moment, but we pulled through. She gave me another chance, and we stayed together. Last November, she started texting a guy. They grew closer, started seeing each other face to face. He kissed her. They kept kissing, making out, pushing the envelope. They would continue to text a lot. They ended up having sex twice in his car. I was very suspicious during this time period, and several times I straight up asked her if there was anything going on. She was hiding her phone from me, very secretive, etc. Well, last week, it all came out when she freaked out when I picked up her phone. It was playing music and I was checking what song was on. I got really suspicious and demanded information. To make a long story short, she ended up telling me all the info I've told you about the cheating. So the past few days have been insane. My emotions are everywhere, and we've talked about a lot of stuff. Remember, we have children, so our main goal is to respond in the way that best suits them. Our options are to separate but stay with friends or parental partners, or try to stay together and make this work. If we stay together, she wants a kind of open relationship. The idea being that she could never feel comfortable telling me if she were interested in another guy if she knew I would freak out and just say no. She wants complete honesty, even if that means she tells me there is a guy that's making her feel special. If she's happy engaging someone else like that, why say no? While I agree with the honesty part, and it sounds refreshing to be able to talk about anything without fear of the other person's reaction, I just don't know if I could ever see myself letting her start a relationship with another guy. This has been so hard, but we've loved each other through this whole process. She promises that there will never be any secrets like that between us ever again. The worst case scenario is that she starts getting interested in someone else again, but if I'm not okay with it, then either she does not pursue it or we separate later over it. Not this surprise bullshit. I don't know, I could talk and talk about this. The bottom line is, this hurts so bad. Is my marriage salvageable? Will the pain ever go away? I really want to be with her, and she with me. She was never running away from me, just caught up in some lies. I'm sorry you're going through this, OP. I can't imagine how hurt and torn you must feel over this. Your wife is very insecure. I got this from her getting mad at you for watching porn, but yet she's okay with having sex and essentially cheating on you twice with some guy. And her solution to the whole mess she created is either you two separate, or she gets to turn your marriage into an open one. Honestly, she sounds very selfish. It's all about her and what she thinks is best for her, but what about you? Does the open relationship extend to you too? Will she be okay with you going out with other women? I doubt it. If you want to salvage your marriage, try counseling, find a good marriage counselor, and go for it. If that doesn't work out, I would advise you to separate. Do not try to open up your marriage, it won't do you any good. Good luck, OP. Now for some comments. So you can't watch porn, but she can F another guy in a car? She wants you to give her a free pass to be with other men, but just you bring up another woman and she will throw a fit. Double standard alert. Either you separate or you go to couples therapy and work on repairing your relationship. The ball's in your court at this point. For your children's sake, you need to separate and get a divorce, or else be miserable and unhappy for the rest of your life. Fact. Had she not gotten pregnant with your first child, you would never have married this woman. You had some great times, but it's over. You can continue to love one another as co-parents who act in their children's best interests. Staying together is not going to do your kids any favors. Imagine your children continuing to grow up in this environment and the long-term damage to them. Your kids come first, and this marriage is hurting them. Open relationships do not work unless both parties are secure with the relationship and like the idea of dating other people. She was not open with you when she cheated on you. She just cheated. You had no idea of this when it started and did not consent to her having relationships with others. Clearly, you were not happy about it. Her asking to have an open relationship is her bullshit way of having both her boyfriend and her marriage. Don't do it. You're going to have to give her an ultimatum and say she needs to choose. It's not a healthy or realistic option for her to have both. Your marriage is only salvageable if she dumps her boyfriend and tries to save it as hard as you try to save it. And if you can't save it, well, you have something against her in court. Story 3. I came home a little early the other day, and my wife wasn't home. I needed some of our travel dates for an update to my security clearance. Since she wasn't home, I figured that I would just pull the info from the reservations in her email. She had left a chat window open, and from that it was pretty obvious that she was at a neighbor's and probably having sex with him. I knew she had been chatting and hanging out with this for business purposes, but this was clearly not business related. When she got home, I confronted her about it. At first, she denied it, then she said it was only sex. Finally, it's come out that it was sex once before we left on a trip, and then again when we returned, with them emailing and flirting back and forth for a month or so. She was chatting with him online during the trip and flirting with him. She told me she just came from ending it with him. It's been a couple of days. She admits it was a violation of the trust we have. She really wants to stay together to work it out. I don't know if I can, though. I feel betrayed. I feel like she destroyed something I thought was so good. Mostly, I don't know if I can ever trust her like I did. I don't know if I'll always be suspicious of her and thus ruin so much of what I loved about our relationship. We've been dating for 13 years, married for 5. We were just planning on starting to have kids. Maybe if it had been a one-time thing, a drunken accident, I think it would be easier. But she had 2 weeks of travel with me to tell me about it. Meanwhile, she's talking with him online, and when we return, she sleeps with him again. At that point, she decides it's a mistake. I'm having a hard time making this decision. I do still care about her, but God, it hurts. Has anyone stayed with a significant other after something like this? Was it ever normal again? She says she wants to stay together, but will make the divorce as painless as possible if I want it. I don't really want to talk to anyone I know until I know what I'm going to do. Edit. Well, I talked to her for the past couple hours. I don't know if I can trust her again. We're going to separate for a month or so. If when she returns I feel like working it out, then we will. If not, then it's relatively easy to get a divorce with no children where I'm located. All you have to do is sign a few papers. I will talk to a lawyer to make sure I understand everything. I will talk to a lawyer soon to make sure I understand the options. I'm not worried about this woman screwing me over. Maybe I should be, but I'll know if it starts to go that way. If she doesn't sign easy divorce papers and wants to go to court, then I can deal with it when it happens. In an easy divorce, we sign off that we're happy with the way the assets are split, and then a judge just rubber stamps it. There's no alimony, nothing if it goes that way. We work out the financial stuff completely. Now for some comments. If you feel that you can't trust her ever again and the relationship won't be the same, leave her. The feelings won't change with time if that's what you're thinking. It'll probably be hard to get over this, so you'll need some time. Become happy again and maybe try to find someone better. Hope everything works out for you. I stayed with my SO after he cheated, and we've never been happier. Honestly, separating for a while is a good idea. Let her feel the loneliness for a while. The reason why my relationship worked out was simple. He said he would change, and he did. I never prompted the changes, but all the bad habits, drinking, seeing bad friends, etc., stopped immediately. Actions do speak louder than words, and so far so good. Good luck, and I hope it works out for you. I'm so sorry about this. What a tough decision. You've been with her for so long. But when she goes and cheats on you, claiming she just got back from ending it, I don't believe her. Something's going on, and her cheating on you is despicable and disgusting. You don't deserve someone who will go and cheat on you for some little affair during an 18-year relationship. There's so much better in life. Best of luck with everything.